breath is already a strategy as organisms, as living organisms that we use. Animals, breath changes to regulate their temperature, to regulate emotion and energy of their what they're doing. And I think that to have this ability to go into the breath, and so I'll come with use myself as an example, I'll come with an intention of what I want to work on with my breath. And this is something that Mallory, like a richness to breath Mallory's brought to me, of saying that I want to eliminate distraction more in my life. I want to feel more energy, or I want to feel more joy. Even like these abstract concepts, Mallory, you have this way of using the breath as a way to generate that quality of experience that I'm desiring. And like, that's something I think feels very profound to me, that my breath can go that deep for me. Because, one level is, it's not just when I'm tired, I yawn, or when I'm stressed, I take a deep breath. Like, that's the first awareness. And this is like way beyond what I thought was possible with breath. So it's been an amazing realization as I go through this practice.
Thanks for sharing that. Isn't it amazing what you can do with your breath? I got so excited about this because also when I started learning about this, my mind was blown, and I was really fortunate to take a course at the Nalanda Institute in New York City a couple years ago, which is this amazing program that combines traditional contemplative practices with modern science, and learning the science of how does meditation and breath work on your brain, on your nervous system. And when I started that program and I started learning all this information, I was in awe, and I couldn't believe that no one had taught me this about my own body before, that we are sitting here breathing all day, every day. That is literally the one thing that all humans who are alive have in common. We are all breathing in some way. And it's, at least when I was in school and growing up, never addressed, I was never taught anything about the breath or how it affects the body, or really even anything about my emotions or how to regulate my mood or my inner state at all. The inner state was just never really addressed. And so when I started learning the science of it, after having practiced a lot of these techniques for quite a while and realizing, oh, wow, these are the scientific mechanisms by which this works in the body, I just became really obsessed with these ideas. And what my mission is for every human to understand the power of their breath, and how being conscious in the way that we use our breath as a tool can change our whole experience of life. And you're so right that this is why I always say breathing is not just about calming yourself down, which I think is often the main thing that people associate with it. Like, oh, if I'm stressed, take a deep breath, let me calm down. Actually, you can use your breath to generate a lot of energy. Because you start taking in more oxygen and send more oxygen to your brain and your muscles. There are so many physiological things that can happen in your body in many different ways. And every single emotion has an associated breath pattern. So this can happen on a much more subtle and complex level than just being stressed versus being calm. Every single emotion, anger, sadness, grief, all of these emotions have different breath patterns. And the changes are sometimes so subtle that we might not even notice that we're breathing differently when we feel a certain emotional state. And it can go both ways. So we feel a certain emotion, and then our breath pattern changes based on that emotion. But also, we can change our breath pattern and then induce that emotion into our body physiologically by creating certain changes in our hormones, in our nervous system. And so this is why I would say your breath is like the remote control for your nervous system or your inner experience, because by consciously changing your breath, you can create all kinds of other effects in your body and totally shift the way that you feel. And it can go so much beyond just feeling a bit more calm. You can really start to harness this in a much more deep and subtle way, just like you said.